Time now for another Henry Cavill Superman rumor. Well, we'll know pretty soon whether or not this one is true with Comic-Con approaching within days. So, Deadline put out this list of events and whatnot on Deadline about what to expect at the Comic-Con should you attend. Yeah. And all the different presentations that would be there and all that. So there was one about Dwayne Johnson, and Warner Brothers theatrical session will serve as Marvel's opening act. I don't know why Marvel is in there unless they're gonna go back to calling Shazam Captain Marvel. I doubt it now. But anyway, opening act earlier in the day with Black Adam and Shazam, Fury of the Gods, getting their much-deserved close-ups on the Hall H stage. But then the line that got everyone's attention was the one that says there's also buzz, that Henry Cavill will put in a surprise appearance to talk up more Superman. So that's it. That's what they put out there. And just saying, hey, we're hearing the buzz. It could be absolute nonsense. It could be sort of true. It's probably somewhere in between. Then on people reacting on Twitter, this guy, Stephen Weintraub, responded to this in, hearing Henry Cavill is filming The Witcher Season 3 in the United Kingdom on Friday. So if he is part of the WB panel Saturday morning to talk Superman, it's going to be virtual, unless he can really fly. As a big fan of Henry Cavill's Superman, I'd love for him to return. Well, yeah, I think that's overwhelmingly true of most of wanting that. And so every time there's a rumor, what do? Well, I say, well, how do you weigh the credibility? And no, I don't just mean the sources of it or whatnot. It's Deadline, you know. But they need Superman. They really do. DCEU's in such a mess. Here you got Comic-Con. They've got a couple more movies in the hopper on the way. Why aren't they on the panel? Well, you know why. Because Ezra Miller has just ruined everything. The Flash film was going to reboot the DCEU, and all the other films would be affected by this. So there would be Michael Keaton cameos here and there, and all that sort of stuff. The Batgirl film is another one that now hearing that it might actually be a theatrical release. But the problem for Batgirl is it's the most affected by this because Michael Keaton's in it. And as Batman and all that. Well, how's that happen with J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon and all that? Well, it's because of the events of the Flash film. Even though apparently the directors of Batgirl were not told how and why this happened, they just said, nah, just do your movie. Don't worry, we got a plan. Well, I imagine that plan is pretty messed up thanks to Ezra. And to a lesser extent, Amber Turd and all her crap, which helped derail their other franchise with Harry Potter and all that because of what they did to Johnny Depp with no evidence. And so that ruins their $1 billion Golden Boy Aquaman movie. So that's why Aquaman's not at the Comic-Con. And apparently there were stories that Michael Keaton has a cameo in that one as well. So you see that using Michael Keaton as the connectivity of all of this. But another character that has been rumored about they want to have appear in their films was Superman. And they apparently negotiations with Henry Cavill never went very well. And so when the first Shazam movie came along, all you saw was this body double in the Superman suit, but you didn't see his face because they couldn't get an agreement with Henry Cavill. Perhaps they have one, hopefully with the promise of there will be another Superman movie, not just him appearing in other people's movies. But to restore their shared universe franchise, Superman is the go-to character for them to do that. With Batman, they've got him split at this point in 3 different Batmen. Now, Ben Affleck, I think, is done. But he still has an appearance in the Flash movie, should we ever see it, in there. And then Michael Keaton is Batman. And then, of course, you have Robert Pattinson off in his other universe, which I believe they reference in the Flash movie, but there will be no crossover as of now, that sort of thing. So, but that's just an acknowledgement of their multiverse and what have you, and all of that. So, but with Superman, they could have him be the connective character that goes around. It's not a problem having a Batman do it too, here and there, but they really need a pump up Superman and all the excitement and a lot of people, including myself, would like to see Henry Cavill in a proper Superman movie. He never really got the shot. I enjoyed the Snyderverse films for the good points in them, but they're flawed. The Justice League, when his cut of it, is probably the best one he did of that batch. But they've got a lot of flaws in them and all that. But I could see it in Cavill's performance that I think he could do a good Superman, provided he got the story and all that. And having him come in to be sort of the standard of superheroism that the DCEU looks to and that sort of thing, which is what Superman's supposed to be, is a good idea. But also because of this, I've often said I think the DCEU is cursed with all this mess and scandal going on. The announcement that Henry Cavill is returning as Superman would go a long way to knock all that away and make people forget about it. Provided something really awful concerning Ezra Miller pops up in the future. If Ezra Miller stays quiet from now on, they might be able to pull this off. But then there's still some thinking that they might actually reshoot it with someone else. That's a tall order. It's not impossible, but man, is it expensive and all that. But maybe. But in the meantime, having all the attention put on this type of thing and all the excitement about something like that would go a long way. So that's a big move that lends credibility to this, that they finally buckled to whatever demands Henry Cavill had and signed him up, As for the appearance, it appears that if he is actually filming Witcher still, and he's in Britain doing that as of Friday, then yeah, it's going to have to be a virtual screen appearance, perhaps during the discussion of the Shazam and Black Adam films. And that's another thing that rolls into credibility on this, because Dwayne Johnson has constantly teased about wanting Black Adam to take on Superman. And since he and Henry Cavill represented by his ex-wife as their agent, and all of that, and that Dwayne Johnson has a lot of power behind him, star power and whatnot, that this could go a long way to make this happen. And so there was some screen tests of Shazam. The Superman is not in it. But there was, I don't know if it was just a description of a scene that they wanted or what have you, and I'm forgetting what the source of this was. But apparently Amanda Waller has a credit teaser, type thing in it. And she's talking to someone about what a possible or potential threat that Black Adam represents. And who's she talking to? Well, it's Superman. So if they that wouldn't be too hard to shoot something like that. And may already have. And at the time someone may have seen this, it hadn't been done. But that's a way for them to do it and tease it and set it up for a future sequel, that there would be a Black Adam versus Superman film and that sort of thing. And I don't know if this was a shot scene where they had, again, another body double or what have you. You can't get away with that again. You're going to need to have him in there. And all the lights were turned off, so you can't quite see who it is. No, don't do that. The other possibility was that, was he in the Flash film? And there's been rumors that he was. Someone said they spotted him on the set and all this type of stuff. Was any of that true? Well, there have been screen tests. He doesn't show up in it, in any of them. However, there was some of these epilogue scenes, in credit teasers, what have you. There's the one where Ben Affleck reaches out to Barry Allen and says, "Come find me," and that kind of thing. There is this scene where Supergirl shows up, And he's, she says, "Hey, I want to show you something." And he says, "Okay." And then they show Flash turn, and he sees something, and his jaw drops and his eyes go wide, and you don't see what it is. So the speculation is that this is incomplete, and that what he would see would be Henry Cavill as Superman, and that, of course, if you know of any of the plot leaks, he travels to a different timeline where baby Kal-El was killed by Zod, and then the Kryptonian invasion of Man of Steel still happens, but now all they have is they have Supergirl instead to take him on. And so that's the storyline they follow. So at the end, the universe has changed as a result of the shenanigans that happens in the movie, and he's wondering, well, this new world and everything's different and stuff. And then that's why they had the sort of comical scene of him trying to explain it to Aquaman, and he doesn't get it and all that. But it's, Michael Keaton's Batman is there, and Supergirl is there. He says, "Oh, wow, everything's changed and it's different." And but then the end scene would show that no, it's not completely the same as the other world. It's Superman still exists here, and she's like, "Here's my cousin Superman," and that's how they would end that, to indicate that Henry Cavill is back as Superman for that teaser. So if that's a possibility that was done, then that goes a long way to explain what they might be revealing. And it's the kind of thing you would want to keep a surprise, that to have its impact. But right now, they need some really exciting good news. Not just a trailer for, a Black Adam or Shazam movie. They need something to really stir it up. And something like this could do it. Even though it's not a full-on, announcement of a Superman film coming. But it certainly would be an indication that, yeah, we're going to get there. But first, you'll see him here and there. And so that would garner an awful lot of interest, and hopefully certainly tamper down all the nastiness that they've had of late. So that's how you weigh that credibility of whether or not there's anything to this. And we'll know shortly if it's just him to show up and say, "I was proud to be Superman," and it's whatever, the anniversary of Man of Steel and stuff like that. Oh, boy. Oh, by the way, wait for Witcher 3, Season 3 and all that. It's like, oh, boy. Ooh, that's all it is. You probably should have just canceled it. But, well, we'll see.